Hello, my friends. My name is Amtia, and I know that most of y'all know me as an ASM artist, but in my real life, I am first and foremost a licensed mental health counselor. So I am coming to you again today with another ASMR for anxiety video, in which I am going to be using real, empirically validated therapeutic techniques to help you relax and unwind, and especially combat any anxiety or panic or derealization you might be feeling. Okay? Today's video is dedicated to grounding techniques. So, grounding techniques is something that we use in therapy to combat anxiety by bringing our client or ourselves, if we're using grounding techniques for ourselves, back into the present moment. Anxiety is something that is frequently future-oriented. So a lot of times what gets us very anxious is thinking about the future, worries, things that could happen. And when we take a moment to reconnect with our body and our breath, the anxiety tends to dissipate. So we are going to practice a couple of my favorite grounding techniques together. How does that sound? Perfect. Okay, so we're going to get started with one of my favorites. It is called, or at least I call it, I don't know if it has an official name, but I call it the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. And this technique is all about connecting you to your senses, okay? So we're gonna start with 5 things you can see, okay? So if you're feeling particularly anxious and you decide you want to do this technique, you can practice this on your own at any time, but for right now, let's all practice it together. So we're all gonna name 5 things we can see, okay? So that could be something on the screen here that you're looking at, or it could be something in the world outside of whatever screen you are watching this video on. So what are 5 things you can see? What are 5 things you can see? If you're looking at the screen, then maybe you can see the microphone or the tapestry behind me or my face. Any number of things on or off this screen. So everybody go ahead and take a moment. You can say it out loud if you want. You can say it in your head. But just notice 5 things you can see. Does everybody have it? Okay, perfect. So next, we are going to move on to 4 things that you can touch. 4 things that you can touch. So that could be the screen of the phone or computer, whatever you're watching this on, or anything else around you. If you're laying in bed, maybe caress a pillow or your sheets, any clothes that you're wearing. 4 things you can touch. And just notice how it feels to touch those objects. And again, you can touch them with your hands and notice how it feels on your fingertips. And if it's something that's touching you elsewhere on your body, like I said, your clothes, You can notice, how does it feel pressed against my skin? What sort of sensations am I experiencing? So everybody, take your time and count up to 4 things you can touch. Does everybody have it? Okay, perfect. So we're gonna move on to 3 things you can hear. 3 things you can hear. So for everybody, my voice is definitely one. You can definitely hear my voice in this video. But find at least 2 other things in your real environment that you can hear. Oftentimes, even when we think it's silent, if we truly take a minute to listen, we can hear little things. It could be the air conditioner running, or your dog snoring next to you. Whatever is in your environment, take a minute to hear. Okay. Can everybody hear at least 3 things? So now it could be my voice and the hand sounds that I'm making near the microphone. And everybody get at least one in your real environment. What are you hearing? Once you've done that, then we're going to move on to 2. Two things you can smell. 2 things you can smell. Now this one might be a little bit harder at first, but again, there's so many things in your environment that you can smell. And you don't have to stay still to do this. If you need to pick something up, you can pick something up, give it a smell. It could be, your own hair, something on your body. Maybe you just took a shower and you can smell your shampoo or conditioner. If you're laying in bed, maybe you can smell the fabric softener on your sheets. Any residual smells in your house, maybe you cooked dinner or something and can still smell that lingering in the air. Maybe you have a certain type of air freshener that you like that is always in your house. Everybody try to identify 2 smells. 2 smells. Okay. Does everybody have it? Okay. So next, we're going to move on to one thing you can taste. One thing you can taste. And again, this one, if people find it challenging. So when I'm doing this with clients in my office, oftentimes they'll say, what do you mean? I can't taste that. I don't have any food right now. But even just identifying the feel in your mouth right now, if you don't have anything that you can take a bite or a sip of real quick, maybe you can still taste the last thing that you did eat or drink. Maybe you had some gum or mints a while back. Maybe your mouth tastes fresh, maybe it doesn't, and that's okay. Just notice that. Just try to connect to all 5 senses. All 5 senses. Has everybody identified at least one thing that they can taste? Okay, perfect. And I would encourage you to return to that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise whenever you are feeling anxious and you feel like you need to get back in your body. This technique is so effective in stopping the anxiety spirals that we can get ourselves cognitively into sometimes. Our body really does keep the score of what's going on in our life. So if we have so much stress, so many stressful things happening, or we're thinking stressful thoughts all the time, your body's going to feel that, and it's going to raise your anxiety levels. It's going to raise your cortisol levels, and you can bring it back down. You can bring it back down by connecting with your body. So thank you for making it through that exercise with me. I have a couple more grounding techniques, and one of them, I'm going to bring out this pen. And this is an exercise that I have done with clients in my office many times. I'll just grab anything from my desk. So a lot of times it will be a pen, but it can be anything. So if you'd like to follow along at home, you can follow with this pen, or you can grab any object that you have near you if you want to practice with it. So for those following along with this pen, I want you to tell me as many things as you can about this pen. Okay? Absolutely as many things as you can. Or if you're using a different object, tell me as many things as you can about that object. So what does it feel like? Is it hard? Is it soft? Does it make a sound? Is it made of multiple parts or just one part? Could we take it apart and talk about those parts? Is it man-made or organic? What colors do you see on it? Let's take it apart, shall we? So we have this little piece. Tell me as many things as you can about this little piece. What purpose does it serve? Why is it on the pen? What color is it? How does it feel? Okay. Now let's see other parts of the pen. How does it feel to take it apart in your hands? Let's see. We have the inkwell. It's long, it's slender, it's black. We have a spring. We have a little spring. What purpose does the spring serve? Is there anything else that you notice about this pen? Does it have anything written on it? Does it work? Let's test it. Yep. Good job, pen. And when we're doing this grounding technique about describing as many things as we can with one object, I would encourage you to take stock of how you felt before doing it, and how you feel during it, and how you feel after. So connect with your body. How are we feeling, gang? All right. Thank you, pen. So that is another one of my favorite grounding techniques. And we are going to move on to yet another one. And this one is based on sight. And again, you can practice using the things that you can see in this video on your screen, or you can practice with the things in whatever your real environment is, okay? So, I want you to tell me everything you can see that is purple. Everything that is purple. Count the objects as you tell them to me out loud. So count the number of purple objects that you can see both within this video and in your real environment. So maybe that's just the tapestry behind me. Maybe you don't have any purple in your environment. Maybe you don't even consider this tapestry purple. Maybe it looks a little bit more blue to you. It's kind of a shade in between. But go ahead and take a little bit of time to look for all the purple objects that you can see. Look for the purple. Okay? Does everybody have a number? Okay, good. And let's go ahead and do that one more time with any category of your choice, okay? It doesn't have to be purple. It can be any color. And it doesn't have to be a color. It can be any adjective or category. Just anything that you can scan your environment for and count the number of objects that match that description. Okay? So first, everybody identify a category. Okay. And let's all take just a few moments to scan our environment and look for things in that category. Okay? So ready, and I'm gonna practice this as well. So ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Was everybody able to find things in their environment? Okay. I'll just tell you the category that I picked was things made of metal. Things made of metal. And from my view, I can see a doorknob that is made of metal. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 door hinges that are made of metal. I can see one of those little springy things on the bottom of the door that prevents it from hitting the wall. I can see the metal tripod that my light is sitting on, my camera, its tripod, my microphone. In the reflection of my camera, I can see this little metal button. So how many is that? I think I got to 14 when I was counting before. All right, my friends, thank you for sticking with me. We are going to move on to our last grounding technique of the evening, and it is a basic one, but a beautiful one that a lot of my clients have expressed that they like. So, for this one, I am going to use a little rock that I found while hiking not too long ago. But for this grounding technique, you essentially need a grounding object. And ideally, this should be something simple, small, something that you can hold in your hand, okay? And essentially, the concept of having a grounding object is that you carry it with you wherever you go. And if you start to feel anxious or panicky or having an episode of derealization, you can pull it out at any time, and this object will ground you to the present moment. And this is a very textile grounding technique. So the last one that we were doing was very much based on vision and your sense of sight. This one is very much based on touch, okay? So you can pull out your object at any time and just feel it. Feel how it feels to feel this object. Is it smooth? Is it hard? Really notice what it feels like in your hand. And it doesn't have to be an object this simple. A lot of my clients are fans of the fidget cubes and the spinners. What are those called? The fidget spinners? Yeah, those are really good grounding objects as well. So just anything that you can pull out at any time and know that your body, your physical body, is physically touching this object. And it is there for you. It's not going anywhere. All right, my friends. I hope that you enjoyed this basic introduction into grounding techniques, and I would encourage you to use any and all of these techniques that feel right for you. So, we did 4 together today. There are so many more grounding techniques. I'm sure I'll make another video in the future, but not all of these techniques hit for everybody, So take whatever is helpful to you and leave the rest. If one or more of these felt strange and you're like, I don't think that's doing anything for my anxiety, then don't use it. But if any of the other ones did help, then I encourage you to come back to this video or just practice the exercises and techniques on your own to bring down your anxiety. And as always, I do want to remind everyone, if you feel like you are struggling with your mental health and you are wanting to seek help, please, please, please do. You are so worthy of putting yourself first and getting the help that you need. And I am going to post a link in the description to Psychology Today's Find a Therapist tool. It is my favorite way of seeking recommendations for other therapists when I have friends or family members who come to me and are looking for a recommendation. It is so helpful, and this is not a paid promotion of them. I just truly believe in their services and in therapy and mental health treatment in general. Help is out there, and I very much encourage you to seek it. And as always, be well. Good night, my friends.